Hey guys, a couple minutes early. It's Sunday Sunday afternoon. It's 1 o'clock. Officially, I think it's 1:58, thereabouts though. And it's also Memorial Day weekend, as mentioned before. Today is officially Memorial Day. Um, it is in honor of the fallen, those who did not make it back. We have Veterans Day in November, which is for all veterans. And today is a day, not that all veterans don't deserve thanks today and every day, but today is reserved for those who didn't make it back, for the fallen. It is a somber occasion. I think holidays like that, um, there should be an hour of silence reserved for such a thing, for all those important days.
There's this crazy.
There we go. So I'm just coming up online here to see what's going on. Our friend Laradox is here. Laradox, how are you? Squirrel Sniper is here, greeting beautiful souls from across the pond and under the same skies. Laradox, or Squirrel Sniper, I saw you just a few minutes ago over at Barb's live stream, which is awesome. I absolutely love seeing that people connecting, making a connection in the chat, and then having it carry over to other things as well. I was there early this morning, well, earlier when she first started, and had a really nice conversation with her. La Akira, I'm practicing. I told her I was going to practice it once a day. Squirrel Sniper says, yes, she's very skilled. She is, and the fact that she can hold a in-depth conversation as she's doing that amazes me. So, yep, I'm giving a quick one run through on sorry, a quick eventually I'll get it out. A quick run through on YouTube just to see if any other friends are up and live, and that way we can get an opportunity to support them as well. Laradox says hi. How are you? I have a new gardening friend. Came by my channel just not long ago. Ava Potterfield and friends. It's a gardening, cooking, flowers, farming, tractors, Model A's, Model T's, exploring, singing, playing music. That is going to be a fun channel to dive into. Paradox says a verified YouTuber commented on one of my videos on YouTube. His YouTube is Chud327. Awesome. What is a verified YouTuber? Don't actually know what that means. How do you get verified? And what makes a verified YouTuber any more important than a non-verified YouTuber? The YouTubers that I appreciate the most are the ones that are going about doing their thing, just sharing. And if they get recognized, that comes as the byproduct of putting out their own content. Paradox says a verified YouTuber is a YouTuber with so 100,000 views for their entire channel. That would be awesome. I'm at 70,000 views in a 28-day period. Let's see. Squirrel Sniper says it's a tick by your name. Yeah. I guess that might be something. Getting a tick by my name. I'm happy with the subscribers that I have. Brian Lane is here. Brian, how are you? Paradox says, but this Chud guy has 168,000 subscribers on YouTube. Hey, I have a question for you, Laradox. Brian says, great, thanks. How about you? I'm doing pretty well. Just got back, actually my third walk for the day. It's a little busy out because everyone is, you know, the 3-day weekend, people out biking, families are out biking. So a little less wildlife. All of it was hiding. But on my third walk, got a bird we haven't seen before. I don't know what it is yet. Once I upload it, I'll be able to identify it. I thought it might be a sandpiper. And we saw a female great blue heron, as well as a great turtle swimming in the pond. Normally I see him up on a log getting some sun or on a rock. This one was just strolling along. So, Paradox, you still with me? I was wondering what you want from your channel. What's your, because you're looking for subscribers, and I'm always happy to, you know, recommend, hey, go subscribe to Laradox. I'm just wondering if you have a direction. Like for me, hopefully my direction is put out in every live stream. I hope everyone gets a sense that I want to share the things that are important to me, which is nature, meditation, spirituality across the board, and developing a sense of personal peacefulness. And I read that I'll talk about that a little bit. Be reading through the Dhammapada, Ignatius Warren's translation. Our friend Amy is here. Amy McFarland. Amy, how are you? So, not that everyone needs to have a direction, obviously. Man, I spent over half my life without a direction. Drifting along. Doing okay for drifting along. But I think some of that was actually, you know, I talked quite a bit about Dharma. Dharma. There we go. And I think part of my Dharma was just going through those rough years of drifting, making mistakes, gathering information, so that one day I will get to be in a position where I can share. Let's see. Amy says she's good. Awesome. Squirrel Sniper says, "Have you heard of Terrence Howard, the actor?" I have heard of Terrence Howard, um, turned philosopher. That now says 1 times 1 equals 2. He has 1 million subs, which is very worrying. Terrence Howard also, oh, I forget the name of his guru that he studied with. I might have to look that up. Something we can talk about. I'm going to Google him up in a minute. Yeah, the thing is, you get that name social influencer, and you start thinking, should everyone be influencing, that many people? Amy says, Laradox, you ghosted me last night. What's up with that? How'd that happen? So I mentioned this yesterday, Squirrel Sniper. You and Amy have something in common with your working with wood. I'll be honest with you. I love all crafts, all skill work, all kinds of stuff. But there's something magical about working with wood. There's something magical about working with anything from the earth. But that's a great thing about, why I love my gardening friends. But something about working with wood. It's it retains its living essence even as you're working with it. So you're not just seeing whatever it is that you've carved, you're actually seeing energy, life itself. You're seeing that object that you've carved as well as the tree essence. They say in Sanskrit is the perfect representation of the essence of what the word describes. So if you say mango in Sanskrit, don't ask me how to say mango in Sanskrit, um, that it has um, the essence, the energetic structure of mango itself. So when I speak of Amy McFarland, when I speak of Squirrel Sniper and their uh, chosen craft, chosen art, sort of use the word craft and art interchangeably because for me, any craft is a work of art and any work of art takes craftsmanship. I love that word, craftsmanship. You have to be so careful in what you're doing. Let's see, Amy says that told me everything I need to know. Laradox, thank you. Squirrel Sniper says symbols, letters, and numbers. Our friend Flower is here. Um, so, not sure what's going on with everyone. Feel free to share if you want to, or you don't have to. Amy says, well, Squirrel Sniper says, Laradox, think before you type, and No Drama Squirrel Sniper, Laradox knows. Well, I hope, don't know what happened. I hope no one was hurt in any way. as far as, feelings or otherwise. Burner Boy says, don't know why he comes. His comment, don't know why his comment was removed. Let's see. Flower says, what happened again? Don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm looking up Terrence Howard. Was it Terrence Howard? Or am I thinking of somewhere else? I might be thinking of someone else, Squirrel Sniper. You did say British actor, right? Well, Lerdux, you and Amy will have to work that out or figure it out. I'm in the dark. I don't know. Squirrel Sniper says, Lerdux asked Amy if she has had family troubles. Amy says, I'm not mad at you, Lerdux. I don't get mad at stuff. I just made sure that to know that I know. That you know what I know. You know that I know. Nothing to do with being shadow banned. Squirrel Sniper. I was thinking Terrence Stamp. Terrence Stamp, he largely dropped out of acting for a long time. And he studied with Krishnamurti. And that was J. Krishnamurti and not UJ Krishnamurti, which seems to be an important difference for those who've studied their teachings. Judah Krishnamurti had more of an academic background, studied different means of yoga, Vedanta, and then later he had sort of a spiritual awakening and left a lot of that behind. His method, Van Morrison sang about it, no guru, no method, which is a good song. Milka says, hello, looks like the conversation has been monopolized again. Yep, I'm waiting to see if we can turn things around. Um, Paradox says, Amy, me, and Yogi, and everyone else want to know what's up. Actually, I don't need to know what's up. Um, I trust Amy 100%. So if Amy wants to uh, share anything, if Amy has anything she wants to say, I know she will. Um, so we don't need to push anything or pressure anything. Um, we're just going to let things ride and see how things go. We got Paradox. We're going to have other things to talk about. Um, I'd much prefer to talk about Amy's art. I think it's absolutely fascinating to see using such an, I've mentioned this before, intricate tool and be able to do what she does. And as Amy just mentioned here, love, kindness, and compassion. So, hey, we can't go wrong with any one of those things or all of them together. So, if Amy's here with love, kindness, and compassion, I don't need to know anything else but that. And um, I think we can let it be with that as well. Let's see. Flower says hi to Miss Mocha. Mocha and I just took a walk not long ago, and in less than a mile, we saw all kinds of stuff. I'm looking forward to uploading those soon. Hey, Flower, do you get an opportunity to see much nature? Because I know Myanmar is actually teeming with wildlife if you get a chance to get out there. Squirrel Sniper says hi to Miss Mocha. Mocha says hi to Little Ray of Sunshine, Flower. And she is. She always is. And she always cares a whole lot about what's going on in the chat. Everyone. Our friend Dottie is here. Dottie says, hello, this is my last time on YouTube. What's the matter, Dottie? Is it the person that was causing you trouble? Amy says, I am definitely gaining more confidence in my scrolling. Every day is a blessing. That's the wonderful thing about approaching your art as a practice, that every day you accomplish something, every day you gain a little more skill, but not every day has to be the masterpiece. Not every day has to be that great work of art. Sometimes just a little thing. When I made that vow, man, this was 26 years ago, to write every day. My goal wasn't to write a masterful poem every day. It was simply to write, to practice my craft every day. Let's see. Should I read Flower's message? If I do, that means I have to say, aw, I'd like to have names. And that just doesn't flow naturally from me. Dottie says she's deleting her account due to a nasty YouTuber. I saw your message. There's no way to work around this guy. No way to YouTube has to step up, because this has happened to other people. They're more than happy to enforce their regulations, putting a mark against you for copyright infringement, and yet they're allowing bullying to go on. Dottie, I hope we can figure out a way around this, because you put too much effort in this second time around, and there's just got to be something we can do. Flower says, every day with trees. That's awesome. Be good content. I'd love to visit a channel that was actually titled Every Day with Trees. And every day, it could even be the same tree. Every day with tree. Dottie says, yes, Eric. I'm so sorry, Dottie. Um, Dottie says it's exhausting me. I wish there was some way I could help. I wish there was some way to, and you definitely don't need this right now. I'd, I'd love to urge you to stay, to just, it's not easy ignoring somebody like that. I can't say just ignore him because it's just not that easy. I wish it was. Um, but if you come back, there's no saying that he might not come back either. So, I mean, let's deal with this head on. I saw your video and you had a strong message. Don't see how he can keep doing it. Daddy says, I've enjoyed coming to your lives, Eric, and making new friends. Um, don't don't delete your channel yet. Like I said, you put too much work this time around. I think she has, and he just Amy says that you can ban this person from your channel. Daddy says YouTube won't do a thing. What a shame. But you know what? If you used the song that was copyrighted, they'd be here in an instant. Laura says, I hope you get justice, Miss Daddy. I hope so too. Good suggestion from Amy. Just keep reporting him to YouTube for harassment. YouTube will look into it. Dottie says, bye, dear. Well, man, I'm really, really sorry about that. Dottie is not just a channel that I enjoy. She's a person that I consider a friend and that I truly, truly love and cherish her company. And she deleted her original YouTube channel where I first met her. And this is her second time, and she's worked hard. She worked really hard. You guys remember to get to 100 new subscribers again. And she made it, and this person has come up. Milka says, can people take multiple complaints on behalf of Dottie? That's a good question. I don't know. We're going to have to look that up. Amy says, you have me as a new friend, Dottie. Hey, Amy, thanks for rallying around. Appreciate that. It's a sign of a truly, truly good person. Milka says, make, not take. Yeah, I should have corrected that, as I knew. Squirrel Stamper says, I will. I've just watched her last video. I'm up to speed. Awesome. Why do I get the feeling that if something can be done, Squirrel Sniper is the man to do it? He just has that don't mess with the people I care about attitude, that energy, which is definitely, that's the person you want having your back. Same with our friend, it is what it is. So that was rather sad news. I'm hoping in short order, maybe something can be done. and I'm going to have to visit. Hopefully, she'll keep her channel up. I'm going to have to visit and see if we can do something as well as Mocha mentioned, and as Squirrel Sniper said that he will do. So, as mentioned at the beginning of the channel, this is Memorial Day weekend. As Mocha has pointed out often, as a veteran, this isn't her day. She has Veterans Day. This is the day for the ones who haven't made it back. This is the day for the fallen. And I always think on these solemn holidays, from Martin Luther King's birthday, Memorial Day, these are the ones that deserve not just a 3-day weekend, but an hour of actual silence. Something that marks the occasion for what it is. That people went to war, some for worthy causes, some for mixed, some for no reason at all, so it seems. But all of them were willing to, when their country called, were willing to show up and make the ultimate sacrifice. At the very least, an hour on Monday in silence, nationally. Heads down for a moment, silent prayer, and then just that hour of silence continuing. Mocha says, same, I feel protective with the people I care about. You certainly do. Also not a happy holiday. No, it isn't a happy holiday for sure. You know, like I said, it's a very, very solemn occasion, day of reflection. We should, at this point in history, we really honestly should be saying never again. That it's going to be something, I mean, obviously, we got some situations going on in the world that require military action. But I just can't imagine how, you know, I use the example of what's going on in Ukraine. One person, one man, making a decision, and an entire country following along. Not that everyone in Russia supports him, but they're not in a position to do anything about it. How can one person from that ego level say, this is mine, and put the entire world in turmoil? In 2024, honestly, we should have enough of warfare. Everyone should be moving on. That should be the last resort for everyone. That, especially that type of committed long-term warfare. I don't know who it was who put forth after 9/11 that it should have been a military strike, bringing the special forces in, a strong response to being attacked, breaking up the Taliban, and then we're out. That we're not investing lives and fortune. Mocha says, I wonder if some don't know that it's not a 3-day weekend of Toyota-a-thon and mattress sales. Probably quite a few people don't realize it's the kickoff of summer, is I think what people, and then the sales. Probably a vast majority of people of a certain age. I think people of our generation and the previous generations, no. Amy says, Mocha, so true. Yeah, Mocha summed it up pretty well there. Amy says, like every other holiday, it seems. Now, you know what? I've mentioned before um, my own, let's see, Flower says, I don't know what to write. Whatever, whatever comes to you. You're a very stream of conscious person, Flower. So, you know, anything you put out there is going to be worth reading. Um, having a going to Christian school, going to Catholic school, uh, being raised in the Christian faith, um, but I steered towards the uh, yogic Buddhist exploration. I don't consider myself a Buddhist. Um, I consider myself a yogi, hence the just a yogi. I consider myself just a yogi, not any special kind of yogi. Um, and it just seems that um, I'm always hesitant to speak about Christianity in a critical form, even though I've largely left the Catholic Church. Um, it still holds deep meaning, or I should say, the teachings of Jesus still holds deep meaning for me. And that causes me to reflect on Christmas, because we're reflecting on Memorial Day, and that Christmas has become something other than it was supposed to be. One of the things I always liked about Easter is that it seemed to retain the holiness of it, the actual holy day. Squirrel Sniper says done. Awesome, Squirrel Sniper. Hey, let us know, if you don't mind, what you did so that we could all maybe pitch in. I know for sure Mocha would. I know that Flower would. I know that Amy would as well. And I don't know who else is here. But I like to think anyone who comes here and spends some time would definitely want to step in. For one, Dottie's been nothing but supportive, um, not just to me, but the people that she's been able to come in and make friends with. As well, anyone else who has a channel, it could happen to any one of us. And I really think YouTube needs to know that if they're gonna, if they hold one policy as important, it shouldn't be, copyright infringement. It should be the anti-bullying stance that they say they take. And maybe they will. I'm not saying they won't. I like to think that they will. I like to think that, I'm not devoting so much time to an organization that would turn their back on a smaller channel just trying to share the things that they're passionate about. Let's see, Scroll Sample says, sign into YouTube, go to the channel page that you want to report. At the top, click About. At the top, click About. Click Report User. Choose why. Choose why. Okay. And as mentioned, Dottie put out a video explaining what was going on. And in that video is the it's too late. Dottie has taken her channel down. That is a sad occasion, guys. This is an occasion of somebody being bullied to the point where she felt it was necessary to remove a thing of passion in her life. Everyone, everyone here who has their channel feels passionate about what they're doing. From Amy's woodworking, Squirrel Sniper's woodworking as well. Brian Lane, awesome channel for recovery, and he's put up with a bit of bullying himself. He, of course, Bryant is uncowed in the face of that bullying himself. But no one should be in that position. Well, I'm sorry to see that. I hope Dottie will reach out soon. Squirrel Sniper, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate the way you stepped up. Give a quick check, make sure that she closed her channel down. See if there's anyone live. Squirrel Sniper says 13 years of questioning the realm we live in has given my skin a thickness of a rhino. That's a good good thing to have in this day and age. That's for sure. It's a good thing to have on YouTube. That's why I always bring up the 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. I know it's hard, but here's my thought of not taking anything personally. Here's my thought of living a compassionate life as means of a practice, that YouTube is certainly going to present us with those opportunities. Which is why I'm always hesitant to block someone from the conversation. I've been tempted, certainly been tempted, and I'm definitely going to take a harder stance in the future. But if you take it as a practice, and YouTube is a perfect spiritual practice, everything's a spiritual practice, then you can't pick and choose how you're going to practice. You can't say, I'm going to be open and accepting, but not for you because you hurt my feelings, not for you because you said something I don't like. That's my personal philosophy. However, what I've come to realize through the wisdom of some great friends is I also have to protect those who come here to share, those who come here to have a great conversation, those who come here to support me. I need to have their back as well. So that's part of the practice. I'm not going to get it right all the time. I'm definitely not going to get it perfect any of the time. But we're going to weave our way through these conversations, and we're all going to practice together, but I'm definitely going to have your guys' back. If there's something going on in the conversation that is upsetting you, that you don't like, let me know. Put it out there right on the chat, and we can figure out what to do. I got to say, I don't have many answers. I might not have any answers. I've actually have spent a good portion of my recent life letting go of answers to the best that I'm able, and just living in the mystery of I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. There's an entire school of Zen, specifically in the Korean tradition, where you're always urged to go to that I don't know mind. I don't know. When you have that I don't know mind, you're in that state of Zen. Squirrel Semper says, in many ways, needles break trying to puncture me, so they don't try. Yeah, I'm fairly unruffable. I'm not sure if that's the term I was looking for. To a large extent here. Not 100%, that's for sure. But generally speaking, trolls don't get to me too much. But again, I need to be mindful. Are they getting to other people here? The reason why, for the most part, is I just don't care about trolls one way or the other. One of the things I always sort of joke about is, if you're going to come here to troll me, the one thing I ask for is be funny. And if you can't be funny, be original. And if you can't be original, then don't even bother. If you're coming here to make a bald joke, guess what? I already know I'm bald. I can joke about it better than you can. And I've heard it all. Every bald guy's heard every bald joke in the world. There's certain other things that you could pick on me about that is more original. Let's see. Scroll Sniper says that's why I deleted Laradaka's comments about people's problems. Once again, Scroll Sniper, I appreciate you stepping up when I didn't see it. So when you saw it and you stepped right up, very much appreciate that. I'm going to bring up a quote. I think by now you guys know my fondness for quotes. I'm looking up a J. Krishnamurti quote. This is a very important quote. This might be one of the most important quotes of my mind. Let's see. Our friend Night Watcher says, be funny. Here's my preference. Don't make fun of anyone, including me. No one likes it. But if you're going to, at least be funny. My preference is always be kind. Always be kind. When people say, what happens if you can't be kind? Being kind doesn't mean not being tough. Doesn't mean not protecting yourself and not protecting others. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is step up. What Scroll Sniper did, deleting comment, for me, what he did for Dottie, acts of kindness, 100%. And they were tough acts. And he saw what needed to be done, and he stepped up and he did it. To me, that's the essence of kindness. Scroll Sniper says, when people are ready to talk, there will be ears. This is true. So obviously, Night Watcher missed my first part. The first part is be kind, especially to Yogi. Let's see. Night Watcher says, Yogi, you're such a goober. Your body outline looks like a freaking thumb. Actually, only from the neck up. You look like a crackhead with out those ticker glasses. Yogi, you look like Albert Einstein was in a compression machine. I like the compassion machine better. What do you mean compression machine? I'm certainly bigger than Albert Einstein ever was. Nothing against Albert Einstein. And so just lightly defending myself, which I don't often do. I'm also in much better shape than a crackhead. And as for the thumb comment, again, only from the neck up. And goober, doesn't a goober mean a peanut? I think. Night Watcher says, should I delete this? No, you can leave it up. I know where you're coming from. I know where Night Watcher's heart is. That's the difference. Is knowing where someone's coming from. I know where Night Watcher's coming from. I get a pretty pretty good feel of his heart. So, you know, he can joke. Flower says your head looks like an egg. Hey, Flower, that's no way to talk about our friend Night Watcher. So here's the quote from J. Krishnamurti. This is maybe the most important quote I've ever read in my entire life, and it has, to varying degrees, played an important role in my own spiritual development, however that's been unfolding. And he says, I don't mind what happens. That is the essence of inner freedom. It's a timeless spiritual truth. Release attachments to outcomes. Deep inside yourself, you'll feel good no matter what. I don't mind what happens. I certainly do mind what happens, but I keep that quote in mind because I practice that non-attachment that he's talking about. Hey, I'm surprised Malcolm McCarty is not leaping at my defense. And that's secretly all along, she has thought my head looked like an egg. And I can't imagine that. Flower says, no, Yogi, your head looks like an egg. So early in the conversation, Flower says, I don't know what to write. And she stays silent. And she finally thinks of something to write. And she says, Yogi, your head looks like an egg. Of all the infinite things she could have wrote about. She could have wrote about trees. She could have written about all kinds of stuff. The thing that came to mind was my head looks like an egg. And as I mentioned yesterday when she pointed this out, she's basically saying that my head looks like something that came out of a chicken's butt. Technically, I know eggs don't come out of a chicken's butt. But it's always funnier to consider. Night Watcher says, I thought you had said that to me because all my life I've been teased for my egg-shaped head. That's the first time I ever heard it, actually. Mocha, finally stepping up in my defense, says that you have a perfectly head-shaped head. It is certainly head-shaped. This is true. So for me, Krishnamurti, I don't mind what happens. That's his secret. He said that several times in different ways. The essence of inner freedom. One of the things that I've been pointing out to some of our friends here that have come in, previous conversations, I think we could probably figure out who I might be talking about. Imagine if they had that sense of inner freedom where they could simply say, I don't mind what happens. I don't mind what you say. It might not even be about me. Let's go to the 4 agreements. We have Night Watcher and we have Flower, and they are at a young age. If you guys got this now, if you understood the gift of inner freedom, your entire life would change. Let's see, Nightwatch says, how are you? And his internet is having an aneurysm and heart attack at the same time. That's a bad combination. So, I've read these before. Highly recommend this book. It's a small book of wisdom that you can carry with you your entire life. If you're looking for a personal spiritual path, you don't even have to consider it a spiritual path. You can just consider it a path to freedom in and of itself. If you're looking for that, this book can take you there, as well as any book by J. Krishnamurti, who I mentioned before. Nightwatch is 2 minutes behind. Hey, welcome to the club. I'm almost always behind in my very own chats. Mocha says, well, that's not good, and that she is well and good. So here are the 4 agreements, guys. Be impeccable with your word. The next 2 are my 2 favorite, and I think the 2 most important. Do not take anything personally. 3, don't make assumptions. 4, always do your best. When he talks about always doing your best in the shamanic Toltec tradition, they're not talking about every time you do something, it's all in 100% has to be better than the last time. They're not even talking about self-improvement. It just means in any situation that you find yourself in, you do the best that you're capable of in that moment. Can you look back and say, I could have done better? Probably. But what you did in that moment is what you were capable of doing. People love to second guess themselves. They love to view it and say, man, but I could have done this. What if I did this? The thing is, for whatever reason, you were simply unable to, or it didn't occur to you, or that's not the direction that you went because you thought this way was better. That's it. End of story. In that moment, you did your best. One of the things I always thought he should have written the 5 agreements, but you know what? 4 is a sacred number. But 5, I guess in his consideration is that if we are impeccable with our word, if we don't take anything personally, if we don't make assumptions and we always do our best, then forgiveness is already implied. But if I were to write a 5th agreement, it would be forgive, forgive, forgive. Forgiveness is, for me, the true path of inner freedom. If you instantly forgive, because life instantly forgives, life doesn't hold a grudge. If there's a sweeping forest fire, after it passes, life is already beginning to spring up. A great example is a tree in front of my house that was butchered. Milka knows the tree that I'm talking of. They cut off limbs, not because they were diseased, but because they thought, what if they fall and it's going to damage someone's car or whatever. The tree has stood there. It's been there since I was a kid. But it's already recovering. The tree has forgiven and has grown from that experience. If you want inner freedom, forgive. Having said that, the way to get there might be those 4 agreements, or it might be the quote from Krishnamurti, I don't care what happens. When he says he doesn't care what happens, it doesn't mean he doesn't care about warfare. He doesn't care about someone getting hurt. He means for himself, his life will continue. Yes, he will be sad. Yes, he will be distraught, but he doesn't care that he's sad. That's the secret of Buddhism right there. If you're sad, you're sad. When we say I'm sad, there's that implication of I don't want to be sad. I need to get over it. I need to be something other than I am right now. That's where suffering comes in. Buddhism, the entirety of its path is suffering and how not to suffer, how to free ourselves from suffering. Runner Boy says, poor tree. They can do tests to see if a tree is safe. Yeah, I don't know what their problem was, if they hired a company that said it was cheaper to do it this way. But I agree, Runner Boy. Poor tree. It was a beautiful tree. It still is a beautiful tree, but it has been scarred. But it's overcoming that scar. It's forgiving. It's moving on. I'll offer my quote from Mark Twain. First, let me read Amy's comment. Forgiveness of oneself is something that many don't think of. You're absolutely right. Or being kind to themselves. People exclude themselves from that practice. I know lots of people who talk about I practice forgiveness and I practice kindness, and they certainly do to other people outwardly. But man, can they hold a grudge against themselves. And it's painful. Runner Boy says, Dottie, I basically have someone who does the same to me. He has 4K subs. Yeah, you mentioned him. Yeah, you even put up a video of you, right? Runner Boy says, why would I forgive myself? I've done some very bad stuff. And I'm probably going to go to insert your religious hell. Well, not my religion's hell. Remember, I'm a yogi. We don't have an actual hell. There's a hell realm, and that's what we make. We make our own hell realm, which means we also have the key to get out of that hell. And why should you forgive yourself? Because it's better than living a life of suffering. It's better than living a life of turmoil. It's better than any of the alternatives. And you forgive yourself because, in essence, it's already done. It's already over. It's in the past. Are you gaining anything by not forgiving yourself? So here's a quote from Mark Twain, and I use it all the time, that forgiveness is the fragrance released by the violet upon the heel that has crushed it. Absolutely beautiful. Runner Boy says he's going live tomorrow. Yep, hopefully I'm going to be there first thing in the morning as soon as you go on. Get a chance to check in with you, say hi, and then when I go out for my walk, I leave you up and running for some watch hours. Boca says they absolutely butchered that tree. Yeah, they did. Amy says that explains a lot. To Night Watcher. Man, it's always hard to maintain that grudge against ourselves. And we don't heal. And we can never, ever be better. We can never be better than we think we should be if we don't heal. And healing begins with forgiveness. When you cut yourself, there's no grudge. Your body doesn't say, I'll heal when I'm ready. I'll heal when I get over the poor treatment that you gave me. It begins to heal. We tend to the wound. We take care of it. We wash it. We clean it. We are offering ourselves forgiveness when we do that. It should be the same with everything. Another reason, Night Watcher, why you should forgive, because it allows you to truly, truly offer forgiveness to other people. True forgiveness. And true forgiveness doesn't mean where you hold a grudge and you say, I'll forgive when I'm ready. When you've suffered enough for what you've done for me, I will forgive you. That's not forgiveness. That's holding a grudge for a certain length of time until your ego says, now they've suffered. Now they know how I feel. And I'll sort of forgive them, but only a little bit until they do this again. Forgiveness is what J. Krishnamurti was saying. I don't mind what happens. Amy says, love, kindness, and compassion. It's a beautiful way to go through life. And you know what? In some ways, it lets you off the hook because you are offering yourself love, kindness, and compassion, which means I'm not going to do everything right. Not all the time. Sometimes I'm going to be unloving. Sometimes I'm going to be unkind. Sometimes I'm going to lack compassion. But it's a practice. I get better each time I return. And it starts with giving it to myself. So when I mess up, I don't punish myself for being unloving. I don't punish myself for being unkind. I don't punish myself for lacking compassion. I offer it to myself. And I think I can do better. I can be better. I am better because love, kindness, and compassion is my essence. And if it's my essence, it is Night Watcher's essence. It's Amy's essence. It's Runner Boy's. Well, maybe not Runner Boy. It's Runner Boy's essence. It's Mocha and Squirrel Sniper. Everyone. But we have so much life piled up on top of that essence, we lose sight of it. We lost track of it. But it's never gone. We just forget. We can always remember. Let's see. Runner Boy says, I seen a man throw a small hand shovel at a cat yesterday. So I went to the shop, bought a carton of milk, and gave his car a decoration. I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing. I don't know what I would have done. You know, obviously, I'm a vegan, and I'm a vegan for ethical reasons, for animals. And I like cats. Obviously, having 2 cats. Let's see. Now what it says. Runner Boy, any plus 10K respect. I got a laughing out loud from Amy. So, yep, again, I highly recommend anything by J. Krishnamurti, or even you, J. Krishnamurti, but I think he's a little harder to fathom. I highly recommend the 4 Agreements. It's a short book. 4 Agreements. Honestly, if you practice those just a little, how many times have we had someone come in here who has made the assumption that someone was talking about them and then took it very, very personally? Too often to remember, too often to count, that's for sure. Runner Boy says, I was very annoyed hearing the metal hitting the ground. Runner Boy says, probably post the guy's house on a local town for people and say what he did. I agree with Amy. Let it go. You made your point. Flower says she's a cat lover. I got my 2 cats. One of them always nearby. Night Watcher says I'm an animal lover. You can't go wrong loving animals, that's for sure. And you know what? You can never, ever consider yourself a bad person if you're an animal lover. Another book, Alan Watts. Alan Watts, The Taboo Against Knowing Yourself and the Wisdom of Insecurity. What a great title, The Wisdom of Insecurity. Flower says, oh, I love the entire cat family. Yeah, they're pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome to have at home. They're pretty awesome to see in the wild. They're just an athletic animal. Always fun to watch. Runner Boy says, I run past the guy's house on my runs. Amy says, we all have our own path in life, and their universe is very adept at returning us to what we give. Just saying. I agree with that. Let's see. Night Watcher says, I feel bad seeing any death of a living being. Myself as well. Like my grandma killed 4 baby dove chicks for the blood. It's supposedly healthy. And I am literally traumatized to this day. Yeah, I would not want to see that. Runner Boy says, surprisingly, I'm not allergic to cat hair, but I am to dog hair. Interesting. So let's see here, guys. Here's a quote from Alan Watts on forgiveness. We must abandon completely the notion of blaming the past for any kind of situation we're in and reverse our thinking and see that the past always flows back from the present, that now is the creative point of life. So you see, it's like the idea of forgiving somebody. You change the meaning of the past by doing that. Change the meaning of the past by forgiving. Brian Lee says, hey, Eric, sorry, left before. I wanted to get workout before work and wish you and everyone a great day. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. No problem. Completely understand getting in your workout, 100%. And I appreciate you stopping back. Night Watcher says, dogs are nice, but I've always been a bit scared of them. You need to meet Misty. Misty is probably the most loving dog that I've had the pleasure of being with. Flower says, 2 dogs and a cat. Yeah, my last dog passed away. My last dog passed away in 2019. The other one that we had in 2018 was a Corgi and a Schipperke. Beautiful dogs, perfect dogs. Perfect dogs the way every dog is a perfect dog. And I haven't had the heart to even think of getting another dog of my own ever since. Well, I think about it, but I can't bring myself to do so. Also, I'm working on being slightly more, I'm living off of savings, as I mentioned before. And when I get a little more financially stable, I would hate to get a dog and be in a position if something ever happened, because I'd love to get an older dog. But I wouldn't be in a position where to have those medical needs met if need be. As well, my 2 adopted cats, had them for 2 years. They were 10 years when we got them, so that makes them 12 now, if my math is correct. And the only way to double check, I'd have to bend over and use my toes for continuous counting. But I don't think they like dogs. Amy says, I used to be afraid of dogs. Now I have 4. Wow. Hey, Amy, what kind of dogs do you have? So I'm Googling something up. Amy says, let's see, well, not what she says. Give Missy an older brother, sister. I think she would like a companion, a play companion for sure. She's a playful dog. Amy says you can foster an older dog at no expense to you. Senior dogs are passed over all the time. I would definitely like to do a senior. There's something magical about puppies, but puppies, as magical as they are, they become senior dogs. And as Mocha likes to point out, every dog will always be a puppy. Mocha says, Misty is considered senior at 8 years old. I don't like to think about Misty as senior. Too young, too early. Amy says, 1 Chihuahua Dachshund, a Chiweenie. Or is that what they're called? No, yeah, a Chiweenie. I fell in love with a Chiweenie in a pet store. It wasn't a pet store. It was, they weren't selling pets, food and toys and stuff like that. And someone brought their Chiweenie in, and man, it was an awesome dog. I love Dachshunds. And my stepdaughter has a long-haired Chihuahua that made me really reconsider Chihuahuas as a whole. Just a sweet little dog. So, Chihuahua Dachshund, 1 Chihuahua, 1 Chihuahua Terrier, wow, and a poodle. We had a toy poodle, and it was a very, very sweet dog. This was when I was a kid. Night Watcher says, this chat be chill. Insert your guide. That I came before the whole Neurodox debacle. Well, you know what? The mission, the intent, is we keep it chill no matter what. That's the important thing. One of the things I always return to and keep talking about is that inner freedom. And if you have that inner freedom, you can navigate any circumstance you find yourself in, any situation you find yourself in. I love these conversations. I love being able to keep it chill, and I love how we can pivot. Here we're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about inner freedom. We're talking about cats. We're talking about dogs. Can go anywhere. This is what I mean, that a live stream really should be approached as a work of art, which means sometimes there's going to be friction, sometimes there's going to be some confrontation. It's going to be whatever life presents itself. But we get to choose how we're going to navigate it. And when you have someone like Amy come in and constantly reiterating the message of peace, love, and compassion, it's hard to go wrong, because we can just keep returning to that. But I agree, Night Watcher. It's a nice, chill chat. Mocha says the Dodge. I saw that Dodge dog Kabuso died. She was 18. That's a very long life for a Shiba Inu. Mocha says Amy has Chiweenies. She has one Chiweenie and a what would be the Chihuahua Terrier? 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 Night Watcher says, "Oh, I love Shiba Inus. They are so cute. Yeah, they're nice dogs." Mocha says they are very smart and stubborn, but insanely cute. Night Watcher says his top dogs are Shiba Inus and gigantic German Shepherds. Constance. Santel, am I saying your last name right? Constant was the easy part. Is here. And I appreciate you stopping in. I haven't even checked to see how far behind I might be. Well, let's see. Mocha says both high intelligent breeds. Hey, Flower, I never asked you what kind of dog you have. What kind of dogs you have? I know you said 2 dogs and 1 cat, right? Night Watcher says always do it on my own, so I got to get through it. And the only thing I know to love what I'm doing, never give up, never still, till I'll finally prove, never listen to the no's, just want to keep moving. That is good advice for you. It's good advice for an artist. You got to have thick skin as an artist. As Squirrel Sniper was saying himself, developing thick skin. It's a super weapon. Thick skin doesn't mean being insensitive. Not in the least. It's allowing yourself to be vulnerable and accepting your own vulnerability and knowing that it's not the end of the world. These lyrics, that's what he said, song lyrics. I answered my own question. Squirrel Sniper says, I have 3 old golden retriever called Cosmo. Boy, golden retrievers are a bundle of energy, a bundle of love and energy. They are just constantly jumping, constantly throw me the ball, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. And after you throw me the ball again. Flower says a Rottie and a small breed. Don't know the name to. Amy says, time for me to go. Everyone, hope you have all have a fabulous day. You too, Amy. Thanks for coming in. And again, thank you for the wonderful message that you just kept putting out. Because you know what? Something like that can change the entire vibe of any conversation. And always and only for the better. So just little things like that are greatly appreciated. So we'll probably talk for, I don't know, maybe 10 more minutes or so. Although now that we're talking about dogs, who knows? We could be talking for hours. So Mocha and I had a Corgi and a Schipperke. They lived about 15, both of them, just about 15. Night Watcher says waffles or pancakes? Pancakes, of course. A waffle is really just a fancy pancake. A waffle is a is a pancake that thinks it's better than it should be, walking around all high and mighty, like, look at me, guys, I'm a waffle. In essence, it's just a pancake. So yeah, none of that fancy, none of that fancy stuff for me, guys. However, given the choice between a waffle and no waffles, I'm gonna take a waffle. Night Watcher says corgis are cute. Yeah, corgis are. They're awesome dogs. Night Watcher says waffles are king. I have never been so tempted to ban someone from a live stream before than at this very, very moment. Flower says, I'm so quiet today, I don't know what to type. You know what, Flower? Some days are like that. Some days we just don't have much to say, but I'll tell you something. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your presence. Just knowing that you're here, keeping us company. That's enough for me right now. I think that's enough for all of us. And when you have something to say, you always come in, and it's always perfect. Night Watcher says, we high livers don't eat commoner pancakes. If you guys ever visit my Instagram page, you will see photo after photo after photo of pancakes. Don't ask me why. It became something. We went to brunch, and for whatever reason, I decided to take a photo of a pancake and post it on Facebook and Instagram, and it became bigger than it ever should have been. Night Watcher says, sorry. Night Watcher, it's all about forgiveness. If I can forgive you on your comments about pancakes, then if I can forgive you for being a waffle lover, I can forgive anyone of anything. Squirrel Sniper says, the Persians gave Alexander 12 fighting dogs, to which they would not even look at a cow or bull sheep or deer. When the Persian asked if he was pleased, he was about to kill the man, the Persian asked if he had introduced him to elephant. The rest is it. Asked if he had introduced them to an elephant. The rest is history. I'm going to look that up. That's interesting. Goldie's here. Goldie says, hi there, lovely people. Goldie, how are you? Are you still at work? Yep. Ask the question and the answer pops right up. She's at work on her last stretch. The last hour. If you're in your last hour, we'll stay up and running on the live stream for another half an hour or so. Just 45 minutes to go. All right. So we'll keep running for 20 minutes, half an hour, and help you get through the stretch. We were having a conversation about dogs and about pancakes versus waffles. Some heated words were exchanged. Not really. Not really at all. We've had, actually, as Night Watcher pointed out, we've had a very chill conversation. We've talked quite a bit about forgiveness. Goldie says, I won't be able to listen soon. I have to make the inventory. Okay, well, we're going to let the conversation run its course for just a little bit. I'm very happy that you were able to stop in. Flower and Mocha are here. Mocha probably in and out. Amy McFarland was here for quite a bit, actually. And we had a great conversation with Amy. Amy has a really nice practice of putting, what was it? Love, peace, compassion throughout the conversation. And those vibes just, for me, the vibes just spread. Very nice. Goldie says, thank you. I appreciate it. Who else do we have here? Brian Lane was in to, came in for a bit, and then he had to do his workout, and then he came in to say hi again, and he's off to work. It's nice having people just pop in, leave a message. I always like that. And Nightwatcher says, does Mocha live with you? She does not. We have separate houses. I live with my brother. My brother and I inherited my father's house. Both of us were caregivers for my father. We inherited the house and decided that would be, in our best interest to split the cost to keep the house. It's paid for. It's been paid for forever. So we have utility and taxes. And I've mentioned before, the taxes, the vast majority of the savings that I had went to taxes, unfortunately. Let's see. Our friend Barb is here. And for my practice for the day, La Akira. Once a day, I should say La Akira. And once a day, I should say Bangladesh. And once a day, I should say Myanmar. I should also be practicing my Hungarian. Barb says, blessings, chat, and hi. I got the wonderful opportunity to spend some time with Barb on her beautiful live stream, just sitting and chatting. Wolf popped in and always has kind words to share. Barb has grown into one of my all-time favorite live streamers. It's just such a warm, welcoming place. And to get her, we talked earlier in the chat about people working on their crafts, whatever that craft is, from Abraham McFarland's woodwork, Scroll Sniper's woodwork. For me, it's my writing, and now with my nature videos, any of that, having a channel devoted to that. And then for Barb to have a channel devoted to that, as she sits and talks so warmly and comforting to everyone. It's a beautiful, beautiful channel. If anyone from here goes and visits Barb, I hope you are very protective. I feel very guarded about that place. I mentioned to her that I've been hesitant to share her channel because I'm just afraid even one wrong person might show up. I consider every one of you guys here the right person. So, like I said, just be protective. Be protective to all the people that you care about. Hey, I'm going to include myself in that. Be protective of old Yogi, as I feel the same about you guys. I did not see what Nightwatcher said. Nightwatcher said he was sorry. So I appreciate the apology. Oh, and Barb, thank you so very much for that gift. Very much appreciated. Goldie says, no, you do not need to practice Hungarian. Um, I'd like to for my, I like the thought of just having a scattering of words, sort of honoring my own lineage, honoring my grandmother, who I was very close to. Um, so very, very much appreciated, Barb. Barb says, buy you some quiet time. Thank you. I certainly do appreciate my quiet time. Goldie says, thank you, lovely Barb. That's sweet of you. It certainly was. Nightwatcher says, thanks, Barb. And Nightwatcher says, Yogi, you might get a living just off of us. Hey, I was looking at the AdSense, and it seems people do fairly well. We'll see. Goldie says, here comes the craziness. I'll let you play. We will skip the craziness. It would be an actual shame to have such a, as Nightwatcher said, chill conversation and a fun conversation where we got an opportunity to talk so much fun stuff, and at the same time, we covered some really serious things: forgiveness, love, compassion, practice, life as a practice. I absolutely love the thought of life as a practice because that means we get to make mistakes, but we get to come back from our mistakes. What a wonderful concept, coming back from our mistakes. You're not branded forever. That this is who you are, this is what you did. We let go of that. Nightwatcher says, if I had a way of online payment, I'd give you all of my saved up money. Honestly, hey, you know what? You mentioned that, was it yesterday or the day before? And I'm going to be completely 100% honest with you, Nightwatcher. You give me the gift of your presence almost every single day. That alone is enough. I appreciate that. Nightwatcher says, don't worry, I don't have much saved. I'm a loose spender. I try to be careful. My luxury, I buy books. Not a whole lot of books, but every few weeks, I like to get one. I just bought one. I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and it is a book on breath work. Always interested, being a certified breath coach, certified breath work coach, and also being a certified pranayama teacher. I'm still always looking for new ways, enhancing my own practice and enhancing what I can offer other people. Medic says, I'm not going to give you money, but I will give you the gift of energy and enlightenment. And honestly, that's what I've been looking for my entire life. My entire path has been about energy and enlightenment. And I knew one day I was going to meet the person who was going to give it to me. And now I've been led in this direction. "100% honest. Guys, I consider each and every one of you, your presence here, that's a gift. It truly, truly is a gift." Now, what you said is $25 is a lot for us in Bangladesh. You could get 3 meals a day for 2 weeks with $25. Wow. So people in Bangladesh and other parts of the world could probably do quite well on YouTube. U.S. currency, um, if that's how it works. I don't know for sure if it does. I'm learning things about YouTube as we go. I've looked at some of the charts on what they say people make with the advertising. We'll see. I got to get there first. Hey, Medic, we were having a good talk about dogs. And I'm just wondering if you have a dog. Medic says, as I say to the people that visit my live stream, of all the millions of YouTube channels, you choose to spend your time with me. Yeah, that's no small thing. I agree with Medic on that 100%. That, man, you guys could be doing anything in the world right now. And yet you're sitting here listening to me ramble on about dogs and cats and yoga and all the other stuff. And I certainly appreciate it. As I mentioned to our friend Mayhem and Miracles, I would not even be entertaining the thought of making cent one from YouTube had I not come across her channel and the help that she has provided. And it's getting to be, and again, I don't know what can happen. If it's possible for a small channel that just puts out short little nature videos and talks about the Bhagavad Gita and does burpees half naked in his basement. But I'm willing to find out. Medic says, no dog currently, because with me being a medic and my wife being a nurse, but she retires next month, so maybe then. That would be awesome. Congratulations on your wife's upcoming retirement. I know you like to travel, so I'm thinking there's going to be quite a bit of traveling. And of course, that can maybe hamper having a dog as well. Difficult to travel with a dog. Night Watcher says, it's 1 a.m. My final exam's tomorrow, and I'm still trying to come to live every day. Hey, take care of yourself. I'll be here. I'll be doing live streams when school's done. I'll be doing live stream when your exam is over. But get some rest. We're going to call it a day in just a minute, 1 or 2 minutes. Get some sleep. Be ready for your exam. bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they say. Medic says there is so much to see here, so the need to travel is not so important. I agree with that. One of the things I talked about when I first came on is my third walk for the day. Milka came over with Misty, and we walked a mile. And in that mile, I had the opportunity to film a female red-winged blackbird, which, by the way, the female does not have red wings. You would think they would have picked the name that was more all-inclusive. And a couple shots of some turtles, butterfly. Trying to think what else. There was a few other things. And then right when we were just about finished, we caught sight of a female, I'm assuming it's a female, great blue heron that was hunkered down, possibly on a nest, which would be awesome. Just saying that pond is less than a quarter mile from my house, and walking around it is less than a mile. We took a longer route. All that just to see in the immediate area. And that's so often overlooked. That's a great point by Medic, that there's so much to see right here, no matter where you are. It was an important lesson from COVID, is that, you know what? The importance of life is right here where we find ourselves and with the people that we find ourselves with. Flower says, hope you passed the exam. I hope so too. Flower says, guys, we need to have a defense system so Yogi doesn't have to see negativity. Well, here's the thing. I don't mind seeing negativity at all. I can work through it all. But I don't want my channel to be about negativity. So it's not a defense system. It's a navigational system that it gets to the point where people don't want to engage in that, and our conversation keeps moving on. So you never fight negativity with negativity. Although I guess you could mathematically. But energetically, it doesn't work, because then you just have more negativity in your channel. So what we're going to do is just navigate it. We're going to do what Amy McFarland did, and she spammed the conversation in the most loving, positive way imaginable by just posting. And now I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. Love, forgiveness, and compassion. What a beautiful message. And again, that's a vibrational. It's a vibrational thing. And the vibration carries over. Let's see. That looks like I missed some. Medic says, here's a video I think you may enjoy, Eric. Let's see. Good thing I have my laptop or my desktop. So I clicked right on it, and I will have it here saved. And as soon as live stream is over, I can watch it with all of my attention. Cambridgeshire, am I saying that right? Drone footage. Awesome. I recently thought about getting a drone, but it has been pointed out to me quite a bit. I have a tendency to wreck things. I have a tendency to wreck things fairly often. So it might not be in my best interest. It might not be in anyone's best interest. Honestly, it might not be in the world's best interest for me to have access to a flying piece of machinery. Night Watcher says the Bangladesh wilderness is absolutely stunning during the early hours from 5 to 7 a.m., especially in the rural villages. I bet. I can only imagine. Medic says I was very proud of that one. It's one of my favorites. I'm looking forward to it. As I mentioned quite often, that I honestly believe the best nature footage, the best scenery footage on YouTube right now is put out by our friend UK Medic. Always the perfect soundtrack, always the perfect editing touches, but above all, it's the eye for scenery. Editing can only do so much, and a soundtrack can only enhance what's been observed, what's been captured. So those are great tools, they're great accessories, but without that eye for beauty, without that curiosity, without that sense of awe, wow, astonishment, there it is. That's the word I'm looking for. Our friend UK Medic has that magical sense of astonishment. The world is a mystery, and this is what he sees, and this is what he shares. It's an amazing gift. Night Watcher says, well, Yogi, if you buy a drone, you might cause a plane crash. That's a very distinct possibility. So I will probably skip that. It says, how's your day been? You know what? I've had a pretty good day. Out in nature 3 times. I've meditated twice. I've gotten my 2 rounds of yoga in. I've gotten my burpees in. Medic says, Goldie says, I always select the right music for the video. I agree. I definitely agree. Which is a skill in and of itself. Not everyone, I think it takes a level of sensitivity. The wrong music could set everything off. Steer it in the wrong direction. Especially, I think, scenery, nature scenes. It's a great trait. That which says I'm listening to some banger music. I probably, when I make some dinner, will put on some jazz. Probably some John Coltrane. Not familiar with them, Night Watcher. So, speaking of dinner, it's about that time for me. I'm going to go make my last meal for the day. Man, I appreciate everyone coming. I appreciate this conversation. Like Night Watcher said, it was nice and chill. And that's the plan. That's the intent. However we can find ourselves there, we'll do so. Medic says, take care. I'll take care, Medic. And I'll see everyone later. If you got absolutely nothing better to do, then come back and visit me about 5 or so. This is where I'll be. And maybe we'll talk more about dogs. Maybe the great pancake versus waffle debate will continue on. Maybe not. And maybe I'll talk myself into a drone. These are all possibilities that might happen in our next conversation. Guys, thank you. Night Watcher, get some sleep. You got an exam tomorrow. Put on some calming music. Do the breath work. Relax. Be ready. Take care of yourself. Guys, I'll see everyone later.